Harper's Kennel of Stella, Missouri is proud to be sponsoring this portion of broadcasting on KNEO. Owned by Judy and Danny Harper, Harper's Kennel of Stella, Missouri specializes in French Bulldogs. For more information, the phone number is 417-628-3083.
Welcome to Crosspoint. An interactive program featuring ministers and leaders of the Christian community addressing the issues that are challenging the church today. Here's your host, Mark Taylor.
Welcome to Crosspoint. I'm Mark Taylor, your host. In studio today with me, I have an Egyptian Christian, what they call a Coptic Christian. His name's Ayman. We're going to be talking about a ministry that he does and how God uses a man from a country where Christians are not always highly favored, and yet God's used Ayman's background to open many doors for God. Well, today here on Crosspoint, I've got a gentleman here in studio. His name's Ayman. He's an Egyptian. You're a Christian, so you're just like anybody else that's a Christian. We're all the same. But in Egypt, is that what they call a Coptic Christian? We hear that word?
Yeah, that's word actually it's for the ancient Egyptian. It's called Egyptian in general. Coptic in our ancient language, it's supposed to be also Egyptian. But for us as a Christian, we like to have this title because we still belong to our country. So we called our church Coptic Orthodox Church. But it's still Coptic. The real meaning of this word is Egyptian.
So if you were in Egypt right now, is being a Coptic Christian or being a Christian, is that something that's pretty widely accepted, or do they kind of frown on you by being a Christian? And do you kind of have maybe sometimes a little lesser rights or treated differently? Because I have heard over in the past years where they would persecute the Coptic Christians.
We can't say persecution, but we have different kind of dealing as a Christian. There is a specific position we can't apply it. There is a specific job, so we can't apply it. It's difficult to have to build the churches. The churches, it's always surrounded with a lot of soldiers to protect it. It's difficult to practice our faith in our homes. Sometimes this is bother our neighborhood. So usually we try to practice our faith in the church only.
So you're saying when you're practicing or having church services, you have to have police presence around your church?
Yeah, because there is always threat against our church. Always there is some fanatic or religious people, they don't like or they hate churches and they want to destroy it. And actually, a lot of churches destroyed it, just bomb it, and a lot of Christians killed in this church.
Now, are these usually Islamic people that they just don't, because of what they believe, they do want Christians around?
Yes, because they are so, they are fanatic Muslim or so religious. So, and for Islam, it's Islam, he can't stay with another religion. This is what Quran talk about it. In general, when Prophet Muhammad and his follower attack the countries, usually he asks people to choose between three things to follow Prophet Muhammad, or to pay what we called jizya or punishment, or to the fight. So, and there is something called the fiqh, or something related with the doctrine. You can't build churches in Islamic area. For this reason, if you hear about Saudi Arabia, it's difficult to establish to build churches for many years, because it says that the whole country is Islam. So we can't give a permission for Christian to have their own church. Recently, there is a start to have this kind of permission. But before that, it was so difficult. But for us, because we still have Christian in Egypt, so we still have our own churches. But it's difficult to renew these churches. It's difficult to establish a new churches. For us, if you need to build a church, we need to take a permission from the president of in Egypt, and it's we took a long time, a lot of details to establish a church, or if you need to renew or fix a bathroom or anything.
Anything, like anything. If you got to do some remodeling, you have to get permission.
Sure, because it's as I told you, there is always threatened. So usually the government or they don't like to bother the majority of the Muslim, because the majority of Muslim, if they saw we are renew or remodel the church, they will be sad or mad. And a lot of situations like that happened. A lot of churches, they just bombed it or destroyed it because these people, they try to renew their church, or not. At least sometimes we need to fix our bathrooms, or sometimes we need to repaint the church. But this is something, it's not easy, And I was young, I remember we tried to renew our church. We used to do that we wake up very early.
Yeah.
Start
the process.
Yes, because before, and usually we do that in the weekend, because the majority usually get up late. So we used to wake up very early at 5 or 6 and try to, to move this materials which we will use it to renew. And we are working so slowly because we don't like if anyone heard. And actually, this is a government which tell us.
Yeah.
She said, okay, you can do what you like, but try to be careful. If any one of your neighbor know about what you are doing, we are not responsible what they will do.
So you had to sneak around and just do repairs on your church.
Yes.
And sneak around and do them in the night or whenever you could do. And if a church gets damaged or tore up, whatever, they can't fix it without permission.
Yeah, sure, we can't. It's very difficult, and it's very risky. Sometimes, some people, they can just be killed and or arrested. It's not easy at all.
Okay, so let's say you're having church there on a Sunday. Do you have church on Sunday? Would that be when you would have church?
Yeah, we have a church on Sunday.
Okay.
Actually, in Egypt, we have a lot of meetings during the week. We have Sunday morning and Sunday night. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 meetings during the week.
Yeah.
So for us, it's easy to have these meetings, but usually we have a specific time to open the church, a specific time to close the church. And as I told you, always our church is surrounded, there is guards from.
Yeah. But do you have to tell the police, hey, we're going to have a meeting Tuesday night, and so they'll be there?
No, in general, I don't need to do that. But if there is with the occasions like Christmas or something like that, usually I supposed to talk to them, because usually if I have celebration, so I will receive a lot of people, so I need to talk to the police because they will offer more soldiers to guard the church.
Okay, so you don't have as much trouble with the military as you do just with local citizens then, correct?
Yeah, I can't say that. Sometimes the military or the police, they try to make balance. They try to use us as, it's some kind of a politician issue. The military, if they need to do something, they will do it. But sometimes, because they don't care about us, they just leave us for the congregation or for the people.
Yeah, so sometimes it's more of a political thing.
Yes.
More of a political move
that's
that they
right.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what would happen if you were having church on Sunday morning and a bunch of people just come into your church uninvited and wanted to make trouble? What would they do most generally if they come in? Would they start tearing up stuff or beating you or killing people? How far would they go?
All of that can happen, but now, because always there is a soldiers surrounded the churches, so they usually prevent them. If any threat can come to the church, the soldiers which are outside the church and guard the church, usually or always they prevent them to do anything bad. But before the soldiers, it was easy to attack by anyone. Anyone can enter the church and do anything.
And they don't do anything about it, the local authority?
Usually those people who are doing that, usually they are psychopaths. Usually this is what the government and the paper, the press usually say, those people, they are...
But they're all together.
Yeah, they are psychopaths, they are, they are not, they are crazy, and they need, they need treatment. Yeah. And this has always happened, by the way. Always.
Yeah, always. Yeah. So, okay, so now you make it, you have church, and you do have, do you find the gospel as being pretty receptive among the people there in Egypt with having the Muslim heaviness of the Muslim population and stuff? Are the people pretty open to being a Christian?
Before the media, especially the internet and the social media, we didn't have specific statistics about how many people they interested about Christianity. But now we can see a lot of people. I'm working in a Christian website, and every day we have a new people. And ourselves just one website. We have hundreds of our websites. So someone asked what happened with Christianity. Suddenly it start to be good. Suddenly the people start to be interested about it. But we try to understand what we notice before the media, before the internet and the social media. The Muslim who are interested, they didn't have any ability to know about Christianity, because every media before internet, it's always arranged and ruled by the government.
So it was always focused on Islam.
Yes. I don't have any chance to talk about our.
So there's no such thing as Christian radio
Yes.
in Egypt or Christian TV.
We used to receive Christian radio from outside, from Monaco, what we call it, Monte Carlo.
Shortwave or something like
yes,
that.
Yes.
Yeah, that we get in there. So, okay, so what happens if your sister, let's say, in your family, your family's a Muslim family, and your sister decides she's going to become a Christian, and so she does. What does the family do in a case like that? Do they disown her?
Sure, it depends on. Sometimes they are so tough. Some people they get killed because of that. And we had this kind of cases in a church. A lot of people, and suddenly they disappear after they decide, and after that we notice their family know about what happened with them, so their family decide to kill them. So yeah,
but nobody done anything about it
at all, because it's for Islam. If there is a hadith or something said by the Prophet Muhammad, say if anyone left Islam, you have to kill him. Just ask him if he accept to get back to Islam, it's okay. But if he's not, you're supposed to kill him. And now there is a big debate between who killed him, the family of this guy or the government. Now the official places belonging to Islamic religion, they said, yeah, this is something is supposed to happen by the leaders. All of them, they agree we're supposed to kill who live Islam, but they just have debate who can do that. This is the debate.
Yeah. So you left Islam, of course. You were you ever Islamic, or were you?
No, I'm grew up as a Christian.
You grew up as a Christian.
Yes.
So you grew up in a Christian family there in Egypt, which probably made that you didn't have as many friends as other people did. Is that correct?
Actually, this is we go through a different era in Egypt. In general, not every Muslim they are practice Islam. So the majority, we can say, they are just a normal people. But if we stuck together in a topic related with his religion, usually or always he will be different person. So the majority, they are nice and kind and everything is okay until we stuck with something related with the religion. Sometimes I had a lot of friends. They are Muslim and we are okay, but when we have some kind of conflict related with the religion, a lot of them they change. They try to be tough, and they have this quote usually. Yeah, the enemy of my religion, it's enemy of me. So if anyone is not belonging to my religion, he's supposed to be my enemy, and because he's enemy in my religion. I don't know if it's clear or not. It's clear.
Yeah, so if somebody's your enemy, they're supposed to be enemy because you're a Christian. But just because you're a Christian, some people don't really care. So they're really not your enemy unless somebody forces
That's right.
the issue with them.
Yes.
Okay.
What we call it's this kind of of doctrine, usually it's under the skin until something,
Yeah.
until the treasure come, you know.
Yeah.
So everything is okay until we find something related with
Right.
religion. This has led them to.
Yeah, somebody else gets involved and wants to stir something up, or you get pressured into a situation. So, all right, well, folks, starting out here pretty interesting. We're going to hear what Hyman does here now that he's in the States. Something that really all of us ought to be doing. So stay with us. We're going to be back with more right after this. This is Mark Taylor. If you miss a broadcast of Crosspoint, you can always go to our website at www.kneo.org and click on the programs page. There you can access the current Crosspoint program as well as the last 4 programs that have been aired. Never miss another Crosspoint program again. Go to www.kneo.org today. And welcome back to Crosspoint. I'm Mark Taylor. I have a young gentleman here in my presence today here in studio. His name is Hyman. He's from Egypt. And Hyman, you've got over here to the United States. How did you get to the United States from Egypt to do what you're doing now?
Yeah, my wife is American, and this is the main reason which led me to enter in the United States. Before that, I try hard to come because I have also my brother is living here, but I couldn't. But because of my wife, I had a chance to come.
Now, you are still an Egyptian citizen, but here in America, but you're able now to do something that you normally might have to hide to do when you were in Egypt, and this is witnessing to people, especially the Muslim people. So you're able to do that now here in America each day, I guess.
Yes.
You're hired by an organization, is this correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that organization actually pays you to witness to or talk to people in the Muslim world through the internet, I guess, social media.
Yes.
And you're able to talk to them about whatever conversation you can stir up with them, hopefully directing that conversation to the gospel and sharing Christ. Is that right?
Yeah, this is right. Especially, it's it's something related with we. As I told you before, we had now this kind of advantage to use the media. The internet and the social media to go and to reach those people who they were unreached before because we don't have the tools. But now we feel we have this opportunity, so we try hard to use this opportunity to reach as much as we can of people, because we notice the problem was Muslim. They didn't refuse Islam. They didn't refuse Christianity. He just refused what Quran talk about it. But for us, if you compare between what Quran talk about Christianity and what is the real Christianity, it's a big difference. Yeah, Muhammad is just brought something, it's far from Christianity. Muhammad said there is some people called Nasara, and those people, they have a prophet, his name is Isa, and those people, they try to worship Isa and his mom as the gods. So people called Nasara or Christianity or Christian, they have through gods, 3 gods, Allah and Isa and his mom, Maryam bint Umran. So when I discover that,
they have 3 gods.
Yes,
3 gods.
So they believe, the majority of the Muslims, they believe we worship 3 gods, and actually it's not normal 3 gods. It's 3 gods came from the same family, so it's a family gods. God and his son Isa and his wife Mary, so when I noticed that, I grew up as in a Christian family, as I said, but I grew up in a Muslim area. And they always actually they push us to study Islam from the elementary school, from the beginning. So we study Islam in our school, and also because I graduate as a lawyer, so I study Islam because there is a big relationship between law in Egypt and Sharia law. The main source of the law in Egypt, or the majority of the Islamic countries, came from the Sharia law. For if I want to graduate as a lawyer, I supposed to study Sharia law. So I studied Sharia law, and when I discover Muslim, they didn't refuse Christianity because they don't know anything about Christianity. But what they know is Nasara or Nasraniya, and this is far from Christianity. So my idea from the beginning, I need to make this kind of evangelism related was, I just need to declare the truth. And when we declare the truth about Christianity, the majority, at least they can accept, they can understand. Maybe they will not be a Christian, but at least they have ability to know the truth.
You studied Sharia law because you are a lawyer then,
yes,
from Egypt. And I guess everything you do study over there has to tie to Islam in some way. You have to, tie it to it. So you take this, and now do you use this knowledge that you've gained? Do you believe God helped you get that knowledge to be able to witness to Islamic people today?
Yes, sure. I believe that's totally, because God prepared me during my life. Everything I studied, every people I met, every situation I go through to prepare me this kind of situation, because now I have a chance to know, I had a chance to know what is Islam, what they are thinking about. So now I have a lot of approaches, I can use it, and usually when I start, and maybe someone is listening to us now and he need to know how he can start with Muslim. It's easy to start with Muslim. You can just ask him, do you know the difference between Christianity and Nasraniya, or this, what Quran talk about it? Usually, or the majority of the Muslims, they don't know there is a difference. So this is a main point. You just tell him or try to lead them to know the difference. And this is something very important point. When he start to know the difference, he can have, at least this will lead him to read the Bible. Usually they refuse the Bible because they thought we believe in a family God and his wife and his son.
So if you've got to know the Bible. Now, if you know the Bible and you're going to talk to somebody that's Islamic, you'd have to know the Quran too, would you not? It's better, but if in general, at least we can share what we have. And you read the Quran,
many times, and I'm studying, and every day I used to listen to a lot of videos and read a lot of articles. I like to improve my knowledge about Islam, because this can help me a lot to talk with Muslim. Because sometimes the Muslims say something, some of them they say it because they thought in Islam, and some people they say it try to be a tricky. So if I know exactly what Islam said, I can discuss with them. For instance, when Muslim reviews God came in the flesh. If you read the Quran, you will find Muhammad talk about God. He has a flesh. He has hand, he has face, he has eyes, and actually he has a throne. And he's staying this throne. And this throne is held by a lot of angels. And usually why refuse God can come of the flesh? Especially Quran talk about that. Why your God has a throne if he doesn't have a body? But if I didn't study that, I don't have a chance to answer his question in a good way.
How do you find people like this to talk to? Or is there actually chat sites out there or places you go to on the internet? And how do you get that conversation started? Do you just start saying something and see if somebody replies, or what?
Yeah, for me, in individual. When I was in Egypt, I surrounded with Muslim in everywhere, so I can find any chance to talk. But through the website, we made what we call it campaigns. We use what we call it Google ad and Facebook ad to make some ads about our website. We made what we call it campaigns. Campaigns, it's something we have a small video talk about something in Christianity and make a lot of ads about this video and ask people if you have any question about it. So this is the tools which we use it to ask to invite people or to let them to know about Christianity.
So if somebody, then you're on the internet, somebody follows up with you, have a question, is that what it is? Do they usually start, or do you ask a question, or do they ask a question?
Sometimes some people they have questions, sometimes some people they just they have a curiosity and they came to know what is Christianity. And some people they said, okay, why you are not Muslim? Why you are Christian? Especially they know, what they know about Christianity is wrong or bad. Christianity is bad. So some people they just astonished. Why you still Christian and you are living in a Muslim country?
Yeah.
So they just came to me many times, and maybe the people, and one of them, and this is a nice story, one of them is a guy originally from Mali, and Mali is a country, but he's an African guy. His language is supposed to be French, but this guy, because he's Muslim, the majority in Mali is Muslim. So this is guy, because he's so religious guy, so he studied Islam from when he was young. So he had this kind of scholarship to study Islam in Saudi Arabia. So when he went to Saudi Arabia, he started to hear about there is a lot of Christian, and how there is a lot of Christian, especially Islam is the best religion. So enter the internet to find a Christian guy to ask him why you are a Christian. And this guy was starting him when he came to me. He asked me why you are a Christian. I said why I supposed to refuse Christianity. And he said, you're supposed to refuse Christianity. And he started to tell what Quran talk about Christianity. Mm-hmm. And I said, no, this is not our belief. We have different. And this guy will spend about 3 years to discuss.
Now, these guys are Saudi Arabians?
No, originally from Mali, but he went to Saudi Arabia to study. He get a scholarship to Saudi Arabia to study Islam. Saudi Arabia used to offer scholarships for the Muslim in different countries, in Europe or in Africa. They usually give them free scholarship to study Islam in Saudi Arabia. This guy, one of them.
Once you studied Islam and you've got, I don't know, do you get some degree or something like that you go out and start using that gives you the ability to, I don't know, guess work, get a job, whatever? You have to have a degree or something in some of this stuff?
As I told you, I study, I graduated as a lawyer, so I have a degree as a lawyer, and I study Islam in an academic way. We study Islam in our law, our civil law came from Islam, and how Islam is the main source of law for us. You can consider me, I already had a good degree because I study Islam in my university. But also on the other side, now internet is full of a lot of websites and a lot of channels. You can study Islam, as you like. You can spend hours to read and to listen and to watch. And I used to do that every day as much as I can. I listen to debates between Muslim and Christianity. I am listening to Sheikh, so I try to understand more, because I know if God wants me to deal with those people, I'm supposed to know more. I'm supposed to know them well, as much as I know them well, as much as I can to talk them in the right way.
Okay, so you're witnessing to people. You're telling them about the Lord. Now, do you go just straight into this, or do you have to talk to them in roundabout ways to get them to worked into wanting to accept Christianity?
It depends on some people. Some people, they just came because God declares Himself to them. They saw dreams, or there is, and some people just came to us because they saw how the Christian people, they are nice and kind. So actually thank God about Arab Christian in Arab areas, because they have a good reputation. The majority of people came to Jesus because of them. So usually, and I have a story, if I have a chance to say this story. A story from a lady. She's working in a French teacher. And this lady came to me and said, I have a big question and I want to ask you. I said, it's okay, go ahead. She said, I'm living in a small city. The majority of the street of this in which my house, the majority, they are Muslim. The majority in this street, they are Muslim. We have just 4 families, 4 Christian family. But I notice the majority of the Islamic family, they are fighting together, and they're fighting with each other and fighting with themselves. The only families, they are quiet and nice with others. The only family doesn't have any conflict with others is the Christian family. So, and this has led me to ask myself, we are living in the same city, we have the same water and the same food and everything, but why they are nicer than us? And I discover in the end, the only difference between the Christian and Muslim is the religion. So I think there is something related with your religion.
Yeah.
So I came to ask why you are nice.
Yeah.
She didn't ask me. I spoke
Yeah.
about the Christian in general.
Yeah. We'll get back to this here in a minute because it's kind of interesting. Not a lot of people get to talk about their faith so boldly each day. But anyway, folks, stay with us. We're going to have more in just a moment.
Making a difference in someone's life may be easier than you think.
You just feel God with you all the time when you're listening to the radio. I feel Him with me.
Share God's power and your hope.
I'm a much better person because of it.
91.7 The Word.
Today here we're talking with Iman. Iman, we've been having a discussion about his journey to America. He's an Egyptian Coptic Christian, and now he's in America talking to a lot of people in the Muslim faith. And so these Muslims that you talk to, are these Muslims here in America or all over the world?
Some of them here, but the majority in Arab area.
So they'd be more in the Middle East then, to where you're
Yes,
talking to.
the Middle East, I used to meet them through the internet. As I said, we didn't have these tools before, but now because of the media, because of the social media, we have a chance to talk with a lot of Muslim more than before.
So how many people in a day's time do you get to talk to on a normal day?
The normal day, it's about 10.
About 10.
Yes.
Now, how many of those people do you actually ever get to accept the gospel and lead them to the gospel?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think last year I talked with about 4,000 or 4,500. About 70 of them they came to the
Became
gospel.
Christians.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do you follow up with them, or do you? Let's say they become a Christian. Now you've just led somebody to Christianity in a Muslim country, so they're going to be in a little hot water. Have you got a way to help them while they're there?
We try to help him in different ways. One of them, to disciple them, we have tools in our websites. We have tools to try to disciple them. And after that, we try to provide what we call FFI, to meet someone in the ground.
So like a safe place.
Yes, as much as we can provide someone in their countries to meet them, and to continue with them. So, and sometimes we try to make some kind of cooperation with other organization. Maybe there is some organization try to provide some money or something for those people, because some of them they have a need. So we try to find how we can help them as much as we can.
So you don't have any way to get them any tools or anything like study guides or a Bible or anything like that?
We usually made that online. We have our tools which we created. And after that, when they meet someone in the ground, usually this man provides this kind of discipling.
Well, I would imagine trying to get a Bible in somebody's hand would be kind of different and
Yes.
And harder to do. But yet you want people to have God's Word so that they can understand a lot better who God is. Besides this man talking to them on social media, they need to have that personal encounter with God himself, through his Word or however that may go. Now, have you ever got to meet any of these people that you've actually given them the gospel, they've accepted the gospel, and their lives have been changed? Have you ever got to meet any of those people later on?
Yeah, in the beginning, I used to meet. In the beginning, when we started, we was little, very few who make follow up. So we used to make everything to talk to them online, and after them we meet them in the ground. But later on, we have a lot of people, so we didn't have a chance. So we provide another people they can meet them. But from time to time, especially if I have a special relationship with one of those people who I talk to them online, I like to meet him.
Yeah, so have you led anybody here locally? There is not a lot, but there is some Muslims in this area. Have you been able to talk to them personally up front and give them the gospel?
I meet very few people here, and I have a chance to talk with them.
Yeah. Now, is there different dialects of this Islamic language that sometimes might be a little different? Because we know what there is in Spanish. Of course, there's some different dialects in Spanish. So not everybody, they kind of speak along the same line, and you kind of understand what they're saying, but their speech is not exact as it is with somebody else sometimes.
Actually, those people the Muslim who I talk to them here, they are Arab, came from the Arab area. So we have the same language. So for this reason, it was easy for me to talk to them.
Yeah. So you get to lead people to the Lord. You get to visit with them. Now, sometimes their stories pretty tough? I mean, do you talk with more men, I guess, than women? Is that what you do?
Actually, the majority are caring about Christianity. They are women than men.
More women?
Because Islam is very tough against women.
Yeah.
The most group are suffering in Islam is the women. The woman is suffering more than anybody else.
Yeah. So what about the children too in a situation like that?
Recently, we start to notice also the children start to be interested, because now there is a lot of information, and now the children now start to be more mature than before, because there is a lot of information. So we notice some people just the youngest one came to me. It was his age about 12 or 13. So we just came. But for this guy, we just try to explain, but we can't. Yeah, we try to explain to him what is Christianity, but we was waiting until he grew up, because to be responsible about his decision. But start to have some people, the children, 12 and 13 and 14. Now we can see than before, because now there is information, and those people, this age now they can apply with TikTok and or YouTube, and they are listening to or watching a lot of videos. So now they can see a lot of debates, and there is a lot of people. They are talking. They are Muslim background. They start to be a Christian. They have channels at TikTok or at YouTube, and they're against Islam. So a lot of people, different ages, they are listening or they are watching this. So a lot of them, they start to think about Christianity because what they are watching.
So the people here, you do get to talk to people here about Islam.
Yes.
Where do you find these people? Where are the Islamic people at here in this area?
I can't say where, but
okay. So some of those people you don't want to tell about them.
I don't know if maybe I'm still Middle East guy, but
yeah.
I can't say where is it and who is this guy.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if this is good for them at least.
Yeah.
So I met some people in different areas and different states, by the way. Because I have my friend is living in another state, so we had a chance to meet a Muslim in this area. We just try to talk regardless the reaction.
Okay.
My target is just to share the gospel, and we know as God his own way to reach anyone.
Okay, now let's talk about sharing the gospel. And I'm just telling you what little I know about this, but you got to be careful about talking to the women, from what I understand. You don't just talk to an Islamic woman or something as a male. You maybe have to have permission, or you have to be a relative or something like this. So you're in a store here in this area, and I've been in the stores too, and here will come the ladies with their head veils and stuff like that over them. Sometimes their husbands are with them. Sometimes they're not, or they're around somewhere else. You would not necessarily try to strike up a conversation with these women, but would you with the men if they were there?
For me, I have different tools to use.
Okay.
Some people I try to talk in Arabic, so if they are Arab, they will notice I'm Arab, they like them, so we start to talk. And when we start to talk, I have a chance to share with them. Sometimes I have some booklets related with how, so I used to share these booklets to them. Sometimes if God lead me direct, sometimes I just go direct and talk, because in our culture we don't have this culture like in American. I'm not offend anyone if just go and talk about God with him. In our area it's easy and normal, but here I know how it's not easy, because not everyone he can welcome if you talk to him about God. But in our area it's easy, and this is normal. We used to talk about God every day in different situations and different topics.
Do you ever meet hostility with some of these guys? I mean, when I've been around them, I don't hear them sometimes just talking normal. They're kind of loud.
Yes.
They have a loudness to them. So you think they're mad or they're wanting whatever, but they just talk kind of fast and loud. Do you run into the place once in a while where somebody really they don't want to talk to you? You try to talk to them, and they know what you're going to talk about, and they don't want anything to do with you?
I'm laughing because we have this culture, and if you notice, I have a loud voice and also talk it and fast. This is not related with Islam, but this is our culture. Maybe because more emotional, our area it's a little bit hot, so we are talking loud voice. Even my wife noted that and told me many times, but I couldn't stop. But we are not, we are not angry or anything. It's just our culture, Actually, the majority of Muslim, I can say they are nice and they are normal people, Yeah, maybe Islam is a problem, but the Muslims still, there is a majority of Muslims, they are nice.
Yeah.
Especially here, if they are Muslim, they are living here, they're usually nicer than their countries. Because, the atmosphere here is peaceful, so usually they are nice. And also they know here we are free country, so we have a chance to talk, and they know nobody can prevent me to talk to him about anything. So the majority, they are welcome. Until now, I didn't find someone he refused to talk to me. In general, we are welcome to talk about religion. In general, in our area, in general, we like to meet each other as Arab, especially if we are in a foreign country. So the majority they are okay.
Okay, so how do you talk to the women though? Is it not a no kind of not to talk to the women? Is that true?
It depends on some women. They are a little bit, conservative. And in this time, I used to use my wife. Mm-hmm. I remember. And I visit my brother in the other state, and I notice there is a Muslim woman, and I can see how is this Muslim, she cover her head. So I thought in this situation, it's not acceptable to talk to her. So I asked my wife to go and talk to her. And actually, we had a big testimony about this lady. One of this testimony, she said, I spent about 12 years in the United States, but nobody talked to me about Christianity. Yeah. I said, I'm so sad for that, because it's supposed to find a lot of people, but I don't know why they didn't find anyone. So we had a chance to, but sometimes, especially as I told you here in they are welcome. I didn't find a Muslim woman she refused to talk to me. In our area, sometimes to find someone, but the majority we prefer to offer a lady to talk to her. But for me, because I'm working online, so the women usually they came and talk easily because we are online. Nobody see anyone.
Okay, you got different time zones. I mean, different parts of the country. If you're in Egypt right now, it's sure not the same
it's about
time it is,
8 hours the difference between.
So do you have to stay up like at night and witness to people instead of just in the daytime? You say you're kind of hired for this, but your job could require any hour of the night or day?
Because we are a website, so we have different shifts.
Okay.
I can use the shift which is convenient with me. So I used to choose that shift, which is the afternoon in Egypt, start from 4 p.m. until 12 a.m.
So you would stay up talking from 4 p.m. to 12 p.m.?
Yes, about 8 hours every day.
Every day?
Yes.
Now, do you do this 5 days or 7 days a week?
5 days. I can't make it 7 days. It's difficult.
So is some of the stuff that you have to talk about pretty heavy sometimes, or is it just the basic gospel?
The majority, they are very heavy.
Are they?
The majority, the majority of them, they came to try to convince me about Islam.
Oh, actually. They try to talk to you?
Yeah, to try to be, because they totally, convinced about Islam, and they try to come and try to convince me. So a lot of people, the majority actually, they are tough, and we have heavy discussions. We discuss a lot of topic in Islam and Christianity. So this is spend more time with me. And actually, I like those people, because I feel this is my responsibility to discuss with those people. If those people, they are honest and they try to offer Islam, this is meaning they are honest and they care about God. So I like those people, and I like to share with them and tell them what we believe in. And I believe in general, my responsibility is to share about the gospel. Regardless of the result, and because I'm not sure, this is not my responsibility. I can't convince anyone. No. This is something related with God and the guy who I share with. duty to share about the gospel as much as I can.
So if somebody wanted to, I don't know, help your ministry, be a part of your ministry, is there a way to do that? Is there a way to find out more about your ministry? Maybe they know somebody that's Islamic, they got a neighbor or something, and they don't know how to talk to them, where they might be able to resource you in some way. Have you got a way for people to contact you in this area?
Your question, I think we need to talk about it in two parts. The first part, if you want support the website, I can. This man who wants support the website, I can just reach the responsible, and he can talk to them, and he can see how they can support the. But for me, if anyone who are listening to us now and he has a neighborhood and he wants to talk to him, I will leave my number here with you, and anyone he can talk to me anytime, and we can provide. If I can go, I will. If I can just talk to, I like that. It's something I like it. It's not just my job. It's also something I like it. And actually, I used to say this kind of people who I'm doing in different from my job. This is what we call it, the real ministry.
Yeah.
This is a real ministry which I'm doing without any money or anything. I can just. So anyone is interested. By the way, not only maybe some people listening to know, they want to know more about Islam.
Yeah.
Maybe some people, they want to know how to reach Muslim. So also they are so welcome. By the way, one of our target here, when I came, my wife and me to United States, to encourage the American people to know more about Islam, to know how to talk with Muslim, because Islam is the only religion who are willing to have more followers. If there is a Buddhism here or Hinduism or any religion, all of these religions, they are not caring about they have more followers. The only religion is against Christianity, and they are looking for followers is Islam. So if we can say there is a competition in, I don't know if this is right or not, but they always thinking about how to have more followers. So we're supposed to know if we will have a Muslim in our area, they are thinking as we are thinking. They look for us to be a Muslim. So you're supposed to know how to answer their question. And also we're supposed to know how to talk to them about our faith.
So you have a real ruly person, might be a neighbor, but you know they're Islamic, and you just don't know how to reach them. You've tried. They beat you at every argument because they got a good story of how Allah's done this and all these different things, and so you just can't convince them. You would come and talk to them if they would.
I like
somebody
that.
Open the door for
I
them.
like that. Actually, this is. I used to say this is some kind of training for me.
Yeah.
It's not only share, but also I can see this is training. I can have a chance to talk with anyone, and this is challenge me, and it challenge my faith to know more. And actually, I like to talk, and this has led me to appreciate what I believe in. I used to say that we are not talking about a Muslim or Islam to mock them or to say they are bad or not. We just say first of all, to appreciate what God gave it to us. When we compare between Islam and Christianity, how we will know the difference, how it's a big difference, and this has led us to appreciate the majority here. They just because they grew up in Islamic area or an Islamic background, they don't know how there is difference, how there is another religion. It's against all of that. So first of all, when you study something different from what you believe, will lead you to appreciate what you have in general. And this is one of the big benefits I get it when I started to study Islam and deal with Muslim. Every day, if I have just one thing, I can get it in the end. This has led me to appreciate. Thank God because I grew up in a Christian background. Thank God because God led me to know Him as a beloved God and as a beloved Father, and He loved me and He take care of me, and you can compare when. For us as a Christian, we have ability to talk to God direct, but for the Muslim, he don't have this kind of ability. Muslim, he believe God he can't talk to anyone. God talk just to the prophets, and not every prophets, by the way. Only few of them I used to say that, and maybe someone he wants to hear that for who are listening to us now. We when you study something like that, this has led us to appreciate.
Everything that we center around, as always, is about God's Word. It's all around God's Word. This Bible that I hold in my hand right here, it's the Word of God, and whether it's in American, it's English, Spanish,
that's right,
Egyptian, Islamic, it's all the same story. It is the gospel. It is true. It's the inspired words of God. It's not made up. Nothing is. It's never outdated. The Bible contains the most important words, folks, you're ever going to read, ever going to follow, and you need to be sharing like Iman's been doing. So be sure to join us again next time as we again discuss issues that are affecting the church. Have a great week. Allow God to use you for His purposes so that greater things can be done. Make your life count in God's plans for eternity. I'm Mark Taylor.
Crosspoint is a program produced in Studio 101 at KNEO Radio. Not all of the views on Crosspoint reflect those of the management or staff of KNEO. You may contact the Crosspoint program at 10827 Highway 86 East, Neosho, Missouri 64850, or by email crosspoint@kneo.org. You can hear Crosspoint 4 times a week: Saturday morning at 1, Saturday afternoon at 2, Saturday evening at 9, and Sunday evening at 7. You can also listen anytime online at kneo.org.